it's Sam. So today we are going to be doing a first impressions wear test of the new CoverFx Power Play Foundation. If you are not familiar with this foundation, this is supposed to be for normal to combination / oily skin. It is $44 and they are claiming that it's like a long wear, sweat proof, crease proof, waterproof, like everything proof foundation, which if it actually is, will be great for the summertime, because if you are outdoors and you're hot and you're sweating and you're at the beach or whatever it is, that's always nice if a foundation can actually do what it claims. So today we're just gonna go ahead and put this to the test. This foundation line has 40 different shades, so there are a bunch. I did get this sent to me in PR. I got 5 shades sent to me. They were all pretty darn light, so I actually chose the darkest one out of the 5 that they sent. So I ended up going with N25. It's a little light. You'll see when I'm applying it at first, like it's pale, but I think I ended up being able to blend it in with my bronzer so that it ended up being okay. I think normally though, if you are around my coloring, I would probably have preferred the N30, and then when I'm really, really tan, probably the N35. But I do like the neutral shade, like the neutral tone is good for me. So I'm very happy with the actual tone. I just think I probably needed 1 shade darker, but like I said, I actually made it work. It actually looks really good. So it's okay. What beautiful things bronzer and contour will do for you. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get straight on into this wear test demo. I'm going to apply it so that you guys can see exactly my thoughts right off the bat. This is the first time I've played with it, so it's straight up my first impressions. And then I'm going to be doing a wear test throughout the day, so I will come back and check in every few hours to see how this holds up with my very oily skin. I feel like my foundation, like first impression wear tests always do really well, so you guys seem to like them. So hopefully you guys will find this helpful. If you do, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell so that you get notified when I upload. And let's go ahead and get on to the wear test. Bye. Okie dokie, so I think the darkest color that I got, because they did send me 5 shades, but they're all fairly light, as you can tell. So I think I'm gonna go with this one right here, which is called N25. There are a ton of shades. What is that altogether? 40. They have a pink, a neutral, and a golden, and those are the undertones. So pink is a rosy, cooler hue to the skin, neutral is equal parts of pink and golden is a yellow, warmer hue to the skin. And then G+ shades in the golden range are even warmer and more olive than the G shade. So there's definitely a lot of different shades. So I'm gonna go ahead and play with N25. I have a feeling I probably could have done with N30. So the packaging is a plastic kind of like squeezy tube, and then it has this kind of like gunmetal, well, I guess it's not even gunmetal, is it? It's like just like a dark gray top. So the packaging is fairly simple. I do like the fact that it is a squeezy tube, and I also like the fact that it stands up straight just like that, and then it's square, so if you did have like a few different shades, they would kind of stack in nicely in your drawer. So it's just like a little squeezy tube here, and you do get 1.18 fluid ounce, which is a little bit more than usual foundations, because like this one that I usually use is I think just 1, yep, and that's expensive. And this one is also 1, so you do get a tiny little bit extra. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this with a beauty blender. It does say that this is for normal to combination oily skin. It says our newest product arrives with a powerful purpose to push the limits of what's possible so you can get out there and do the same. Introducing Power Play, sweat, shine, creases, water, oil. We've got you all covered. So it says it's weightless, modern matte finish, good for you ingredients, and all day wear. Our latest foundation shatters limitations and forever alters your standard of performance. Available in 40 shades. So this is $44. It says that it's a full coverage and a matte finish. It is also vegan, and it's supposed to not oxidize. It is free of parabens, sulfates, phthalates. So it's saying that you can apply it anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a makeup sponge because that's what I always use. We are just gonna go ahead and play with this. So this color is definitely quite a bit lighter than I usually go for. Oh, I'm noticing that I'm already using up quite a bit of product. Like I'm already having to go in for another squirt. It's kind of a thicker consistency. does feel quite creamy, which is kind of weird because it says it's like a matte finish, but at the moment it just feels like quite a creamy consistency. I think we'll definitely be able to make this work. It's a little bit light, but that's okay. This will be fine because I can bronze up the skin. I'm definitely not getting a full coverage from the first layer. Like I would say this is definitely medium for the first layer, because I'm still seeing quite a lot of my like skin peeking through from like discoloration I have. It could be the fact that this is a little pale for me, and I feel like sometimes the paler foundations, like when you do have discoloration or like any kind of scarring, then it's harder, like you almost need extra product because it's so light that it's just not covering kind of the darkness that you have underneath. But it is definitely a medium to full coverage. I've definitely seen fuller coverage products out there. Now that it's kind of worked into the skin, I'm definitely seeing a matte finish. I am going in for my third little squirt. So this is definitely not a product that you're going to be able to get away with using very little product, because I feel like it does soak up into the sponge. So if you are someone who doesn't mind not using a sponge, then I would probably go with a brush or your fingertips, because this formula does seem to be soaking up quite a bit into my sponge. I don't like using a brush, so I'm not going to use a brush. I'm just going to continue to use the thing that I always apply my makeup with. I'm having to go in for a fourth squeeze, and I'm not putting like a whole lot on, but it's still a decent amount of foundation. So I'm going through quite a lot, I don't think. Maybe that's why they give you the extra little bit of foundation. So that is one layer of foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and get in there and look up really nice and close. So I definitely feel like it's not full coverage. I'm still seeing like all this discoloration peeking through. Even like just little freckles and kind of redness around my nose is still coming through. Yeah, the coverage is not my favorite at all. I am noticing that it is kind of like gathering up around here on my chin already. It just doesn't look that great on the skin. I mean, it looks fine. It looks like it's pulling up dry patches that I know aren't there. Don't know about this. I'm just gonna try and build it up in the areas where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, and we'll just see if it is buildable. Because at the moment, this is not full coverage enough for me. Okay, so this is a second coat. Oh, I look like a ghost. That definitely did build up a little bit. I'm definitely seeing a lot more coverage now. So I would say if you want full coverage, then you need to apply 2 coats. I used a lot of product to get the coverage that I'm happy with. And like I said, sometimes I find that when I have a lighter foundation, I end up having to use more product. So if I had the color that was actually my color, I might not have to use quite as much. But I still definitely used quite a lot of product. I'm gonna go ahead and put my concealer on now, and we're just gonna go ahead and see how it blends out. It is a modern matte. Like, you know how when like old mattes are like matte and you look really powdery? I definitely don't look powdery, but I do see there's definitely a matte finish to my skin, but it's not so matte to where I don't look like I have a glow. Like, I definitely do feel like there's still a little bit of kind of like a healthiness to my skin peeking through, like you can kind of see on my forehead. So it's not super duper matte, which I like, because I sometimes if it's like so matte, it's just not looking cute. We're gonna see how this blends out on top. Man, my face looks so white compared to my body right now. What I will say though, is that if you are super fair, I think you'll have a really easy time finding a foundation that works for you, because there are a lot of shades, and there's looks like there's a really, really light one. I mean, if this is the 25 and this is how light this one is, and there's also some really nice deep ones as well. So the shade range is great. So the concealer seems to have blended out nicely. Yeah, everything looks fine and dandy. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply all of my powders, the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and let you know how everything blended out and just kind of my final thoughts. It looks fine right now. I just wish it was the right color, because I feel like when you're you just automatically don't feel great when your face is paler than your body anyway. So I feel like, oh, I look so weird right now. But maybe once I've bronzed up and like everything is on, I'll feel like a little bit more normal. I definitely think that as of right now, like it looks fine. It's not like my favorite foundation I've ever seen in my life. But that second, oh, it's like bunching up in my lip already. That second coat or second layer definitely helped. Okay, I'm just doing my makeup and I wanted to show you guys, and I'm hoping it's gonna pick up on camera. So like where I did my contour on my nose, or who knows what's gone on, it's like already started to take some of the foundation off. Can you guys see that right there where it's like coming off? I'm really hoping the camera will pick it up. It's really weird. It's like getting disturbed wherever, like this is already kind of like worn off right here. This is getting all bunched up where I've put powder. It's already like getting stuck in my lines here. There's like product come off here. It's looking all cruddy around my nose. Oh God. Can you guys see that right there? That is not looking cute. Look at my forehead. You can see all of my pigmentation, all of my melasma. You can see it all right there. If this was real life and I was not filming a tutorial for you guys, I would just straight up start again and I would go wash my face and choose another foundation. I would not continue on with my day. So that's just kind of telling you something right there. I'm gonna try and save it anyway just for you guys for this video, but I can tell you right now I'm not very happy with this because I don't like the fact that it's pulling foundation off of my nose. It's like looking super cruddy there and I don't know if I should just try and like fix that or what, but I'm not happy. Okie dokie, I finished all of my makeup. So once I kind of did my little rant about the foundation being disturbed once I put on my contour, everything was fine after that. Once I did the highlight, I kind of disguised that little bit that was coming off on my nose and it kind of like blended everything in on my cheeks. Also, I feel like the color is fine now that I have like warmed it up with my bronzer. So I think it's okay. And now that I'm looking at it, like I definitely think it does look really pretty. However, I had to work a little harder to kind of disguise the little boo-boos that I had. Also, it is still looking a little cruddy around the nose here already. And I'm definitely seeing that it is settling into like this line specifically, kind of on this side of my cheek or chin where all the crap is. Like I definitely have like a lot of scarring here from acne and everything, and it seems to be enhancing this line like really bad. And it's like literally just been put on. It's already starting to like sink into this line, and just any kind of like little cruddy bits I have on my face, it's like I'll hang out in there. So I'm not super happy as far as this section of my face, but that's my horrible section of my face anyway. I hate that section of my face, so it's not like it's great down there anyway. However, my forehead is looking fine. Like it's looking good up there. My pores do look a little bit bigger than they usually do. I feel like everything usually looks a little bit smoother and more polished and kind of like more doll-like. And I feel like my pores are being super enhanced right here as well. So where normally I feel like my forehead and this section of my face looks so smooth and polished and like doll face, I'm definitely feeling like, oh dang, I've got some pores there that I didn't know I had. So I just feel like if you have any kind of texture, larger pores, fine lines and wrinkles, this is not gonna be a foundation for you, because I have all of those things and it's definitely enhancing the areas that I would like to disguise. So I think this is going to be a good foundation if you already have really nice skin, if you don't have like texture or pores or fine lines or even like discoloration, because the coverage definitely was not the greatest for me. I had to work really hard, I had to use a lot of product, and when I started to put my powders and my contours, it all kind of came off in this area anyway. So that I did not care for, but I am going to continue wearing it throughout the day and we'll see. It is for normal to combination / oily skin. My skin is oily. It's not even combo. It's just straight up oily. Everywhere it gets greasy on my face. So I'm really interested to see how it is going to work. If it is going to kind of like collect, I have a feeling it will. Also, we'll see how it does on the oil control and just kind of like in general what it does on my face. And if you are wondering about my skin type, it's basically oily, acne prone. I have melasma. I have a lot of scarring from acne, so I have a lot of texture. Basically, I have a lot of stuff going on my face, so I'm very particular about foundations. I want them to like, I have a very high standard of what they should do on my face because oily skin is very tricky, especially if you do have things to cover, lines to sit into, texture to show. Like, there's a whole lot going on my face. So we'll see. As of right now though, I'm fine. I think it looks nice. I would be perfectly happy to go out. I wouldn't want someone being too close up in my business because I would be stressed out then. But if I was just out and about and I knew no one was going to be like having a meeting with me right here, then I would be okay. But I'm definitely feeling less confident with my face than I normally am with my current foundation routine that I love. So that's just kind of how I'm going to put it as of this point. But I do think from here it looks fine. It's just when you get up close that you're like, oh. It is currently 11:12. So we will come back in a few hours. I'll probably come back after lunch and we'll do just a little checkup and see how it's held up after a couple of hours. And then I'll also come back later on in the evening as well just to see what's going on. But as of now, I thought it was going to be worse. I have to be honest. I was like super irritated with it and I was like, forget this. And then I struggled through it and I actually am very happy. Like, I feel like it pulled together pretty well. So I'm okay at the moment. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, I am back. It is freezing. It's actually snowing today. I'm like so cold, so that's why I'm in a sweater. It is now 3:10. So the foundation has been on for, let's just say 4 hours. I have not looked in the mirror, so I have no idea what I look like. This is not looking great. What I am noticing is that it is like seriously collected all in this line here. It's kind of like gathered. Oh God, it looks so bad right here. This is terrible. The nose is looking super bad. It's like wiped off of this bit of my nose here, but then it's looking really dry and all like clustered. Oh God, it's not good. I'm really hoping you guys can see all this. It's kind of just making me look a little older. Like, do you see the nose? How it's like come up on the bottom there? The forehead's not looking terrible. It's just not looking great. It's, again, it's one of those things where from far away it doesn't look bad. It's like, oh, you look nice. But then when you get up close, like from here, I'm like, oh wow, if I would have just looked in the mirror and been like, okay, cool. But do you see how my hair is like sticking? Oh God. It's like sticking to my forehead. When I just look in this mirror, I think that's pretty darn good. It's when you get up close that you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Like, it's so bad on my chin. And especially around my nose. Oh, and it's all breaking apart in my pores on this side. No, I'm not liking this whatsoever. I would not feel comfortable to go out in public now because I'd be like, if someone got up close to me, they'd be like, oh, she does not know how to do her makeup. Because it's just looking all like kind of cakey and bunched together. I'll come back at the end of the evening and we'll check in one more time to see, but as of now, I am not very happy with it. It's not terrible. I've absolutely had worse foundations in my life because it is looking pretty good around here, but again, my pores just look so enhanced. Like, everything just looks so much more and just like it's pulling up things that I didn't even know I had. So we'll come back. I'll probably come back around 7 or 8 and we'll take a look and then I'll give you my final decision. But as of right now, like, my normal foundation that I wear looks way better after 4 hours than this does. I am not liking this whole gathering situation. It's not cute. Okay guys, it is now 8:20. Oh, did you see that? 8, okay, no, it's not gonna go. 8, okay, well, it's 8:20.
I'm gonna do my final check-in. I've not touched my face as far as like blotting or anything like that at all today. So I'm just gonna open my mirror. So let me just face the light here. So it's completely like worn off of my nose here where I've obviously like wiped it. I'm definitely noticing a lot more like wrinkles around here than I'm used to. I mean, obviously they didn't just come out of nowhere, but it just looks a little dry around here. So I do feel like it's stayed pretty good as far as the oil control goes. I mean, I'm definitely a little oily, but nothing major. So I feel like as far as oil control goes, that aspect is actually quite good. But it does transfer, like it's definitely enhanced this line majorly. It's kind of like all collected into this area right here. It's kind of like worn off my chin. It just doesn't look the greatest. Like my pores are enhanced. It's collected. It's sitting in my fine lines, even in this kind of area. Like it's just, it just doesn't look great. And then when you touch it, it just like swipes right off. Like you can probably see that there, like it comes right off. So the coverage, like, I don't know, the coverage just kind of, it went into different areas of my face. Hopefully you guys can tell how it's like come off here. I don't know, it's just not looking as nice as I would like it to look. It's 9 hours and I've worn foundations for a lot longer than this and they've looked better. And like I said earlier, after 4 hours, it definitely was already collecting and just looking a little yucky around here. So as far as the oil control goes, I think it's done pretty well. Everything else though, definitely not my favorite. It's not the worst foundation I've ever tried, but it's definitely not the best foundation I've ever tried. So I'll leave you with that. You guys can kind of just like decide for that. But I don't know if you guys can see this, but do you see how it's just kind of looking like, it just looks a little dry under here and like not as smooth, or like around my nose here. Do you see all this? Oh good, you're seeing it now. See how it's just like collecting into weird spots? I don't like that. So there's my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoy and find that helpful. Thank you. Oops, I'm not blurry, or I am blurry. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.